We're at an hour. That's usually my peak. Hey, Hammerlock, you useless sack of shit. What the fuck's up with your run? Tell me again why he's marrying you.
Oh, an ambush.
How'd you get a shotgun? Oh yes, and now you want to go to arms. Now you want to. Oh, just moaned in pain.
I was made for this. Time to break through. Not breaking through that.
You're fine, Hammerlock. I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine, Pally. Gratifying stranger. We're so close to the cap. Oh my god. Why do you little vampire fucking things not want to take a bullet to the face anymore? These tiny little heads were hitting like it's nothing. But the freaking tank with the head is the size of a small sun. A small star. I can't hit it all. Alright. Come on. She took that to the fucking earlobe.
Go on then.
Don't worry, we're fine. We got 11,000 health. We'll just stand around. Hammerlock's fine. This is how you play Zane. Hard scope in the middle of everything. Is this guy alright? I think he was like working on his car. He's like, hey, can you help me please? I got a flat tire. We're like, yeah, here's your help. Here's your Washington Post. Trying too hard, that's the problem.
Come on.
We're just trying to get you set up for the wedding, Hammerlock. You gotta get tough. You gotta toughen up. These level 50 weapons are actually starting to fall off pretty good.
Another notch on my proverbial belt.
He's fine.
Gunplay.
Yes. You're just now getting the point 7 years later. This is a game about gunplay. Oh, hey, tally ho! Hey, see? He knows how to play Zane. He knows how to Zane. He's been here once. Now he wants to get involved. Lots of diverse environments in here, though. We got kind of an industrial, floating mushroom place. We must find a cure for the pink eye. Yes. You really did a lot there, Hammerlock. Be proud. Where are we going? Oh yes, the Wendigo. Hold on, is there any reason at all to go to the side? Probably another quest. Look at this man go.
Let's go in.
Hey, try to taste it. Give it a taste test. So here it is. The fucking first specimen of the COVID. You think people eat it? Yeah, probably. And this is how it starts, people. This is how it got started. Get your hands dirty. I think Hammerlock's got it hands full enough.
Here's one, boyo. Oh, it's a whiffer.
Ah, yes, poop jokes.
Indigo must burn its prey to death before eating it.
Ah, poop jokes.
Perhaps we'll find its weakness if we keep searching.
Nothing gets the old belly laugh going quite like poop jokes.
That one is mostly bones. The Wendigo must feed on small creatures and also something earthy.
Now I glean the truth.
It's even like shaped like something you'd buy at Spencer's Gifts.
Feeds on the mushrooms of the forest.
Our path becomes clear. We will bait the Wendigo first and then go in for the kill.
First, Gesselium avantis, a rare and deadly paralytic.
It won't kill a
So we got some of the
creature size
Hammerlock
as a wind,
DLC
but
going.
it daze it enough
Good
to
old
make it a
poop
fair
jokes. Oh. Oh, God. Are they raccoons? Do they have white and black fur? How many times are we gonna hear that line? Are they raccoons?
Now to create an effective
You slow down a bit.
lead, wolven meat and the juices
Hey, he did a
from
good
the
job. You better,
mushrooms.
we all better compliment him or we'll never get a
Out
shift
upon
code
the
again.
Wendigo's trail and make sure the devil doesn't elude us.
He just likes to see what people are capable of. Just likes to test people's reactions for psychological profiling and study. Doesn't give a shift code. We need him, man. He's gonna be a big, rich movie TV star. Starlet. He'll be a starlet. What's this? Big oh crabs, beware of wolvens. Gee. The useless loot from the gold chest. Hey, you know, it has a 1 in 1,000 chance at dropping a legendary you won't use. Keep that in mind, Walt. Keep that in mind, won't you, Jeremiah? That's becoming like the slightest movement. My throat is just done. Oh yeah, these things like keep calling him forward. Oh, it's got big ball sacks underneath its neck, I see. Hey, use those big ball sacks. Those aren't the crit spot? Boo. Hello, Prime Wolvigan. Oh, I got a shield.
Throw in the barrier!
Alright. We had to pretend it was Wilso. We still gotta get him back for that time that he killed us. Wrecked you, mate. Yeah, it needs to spawn in a new badass, absolutely. By the time the event starts, you're already moving through.
It would take all day to forage enough mushrooms.
Why the hell are you not here, Hammerlock?
Chanting as that might be, I've got a more
Every time it's like a fight, he just disappears.
Our ghastly but hospitable proprietor mentioned a factory not far that makes a sort of mushroom tonic.
Ah, the fungal brewers believe their tonics give
The
them
fungal brewers.
beyond. Perhaps reality.
Reach the mixing factory. Yep, we're gonna go this way that we haven't gone yet.
Large
10 badasses.
exist to endless room.
And you killed the one it picked to be the badass viewer.
Such splendor. I say,
I mean, I could slow down and not kill it, but at the same time, it's like, do we want to double the length of the playthrough? Right. No, it totally does need to spawn a new one. You're absolutely right. That's the answer. And it also shouldn't have to be full screen. It also shouldn't have to be visible all the time. There's a lot of really cool things with this Twitch extension. It's pretty amazing that it works like it does. But yeah, it could still be improved. You shouldn't have to have it full screen. Should spawn a new badass. If you end up putting bits into the thing, then it should still give the streamer an alert that you done did what you did. Look at all those grenades. I'll kill you.
That was all me.
You ganky knob. You could have hit a banjo with a cow's ass. Or flip that. You couldn't hit a cow's ass with a banjo. Definitely. That's gonna get us hired on a movie anytime now. Along with these sick headshots. Oh no, it's a bludgeoner. I can feel that bitch's touch. What the hell's he talking about?
Thinking I can crack
It'd be cool if you could make iridium for you guys. Alright, level cap, here we come. Oh, classic Borderlands puzzle. Shoot the little target. Good animations in this. It's an alright horizon. Skyboxes. It looks like Pandora when you first start Borderlands 2. Alright, mayhem. Prepare for mayhem. Yeah, this level 50 Breath of the Dying is like starting to fade. There just isn't time to line up a headshot. You're just best off just go prepare for retextured enemies. No, they're bandits. I mean, they're hurlers and frostbaits. Alright, they're brand new. They're bandits, but slightly blue. It's a totally different thing. They did add the ticks. They added the ticks, and they added the Crocodonian things, and they added the main enemies with that all look like Chihulu cultists. Like the Beholden or something. It's a pretty typical. He's still being shocked. Kind of like Borderlands 1 when you like burn those guys with acid and they're completely dissolved, but they're still grunting. So pretty much so far pretty standard for Borderlands DLC in the sense of like, yeah, you get 3 new enemies. Oh yeah, there's these, but these are basically Beholden.
I see you, dark spirit. Name yourself and prepare to slash.
No need for such
He's having a really tough time navigating the environment.
with no pugilistic intent.
He was not moving well.
Interest is trade.
Woven seem new, like the yellow. I think the Woven is pretty much a retextured Necrodefeo enemy, though, from what I can tell.
Knowledge in exchange for Kaif. I am told you are
What an epic fight.
I am. Wonderful. I seek the anti-Hydra Suknoth. Specifically, its fangs. You may have the rest, should you survive.
We got 2 guys on a quest right now.
I came here to hunt that very same anti-Hydra, but the foul beast has eluded me. Give me your knowledge, spirit, and I will deliver Suknath's fangs.
We have a pact, then.
The aim assist just like doesn't like to move. Dude, I pressed the buttons, dude. Did you see that input lag, man? Come on, dude. Dude, I went to go kill him and the game like hitched up. Dude, how does a pistol have that kind of range? There's no way, dude. Game fucking sucks. In the words of Taxis, and enter quotation. As I complain about the aim assist. It's the aim assist. That's why I missed that shotgun shot by 3 feet. Why am I toxic? Yes. We will hunt and we will have a pact then. Right, it was pretty funny at first. It was still kind of funny about halfway through. And I'm starting to think the way he reads that all out is getting kind of... Oh yeah. This is how you snipe. Hey, can you guys just stop shooting at me for a second? I'm trying to be a badass at 360 no scope everybody. There we go. Now things are really coming together. Thank you. I appreciate you guys cooperating in the plan. You there, have you heard of the High Elves? By the Nine Divine, it's the Daedra. Assault. Assault.
You should back away.
Hey, we did it. Pop goes your head, baby. It only took about a 2% accuracy rating. Oh, the bludgeoner bludgeons us. That's what the bludgeoner does. He bludgeons. Huh. She okay? Uh-oh. He's gonna commence the bludgeoning. He's fine. He's fine. He should get up soon. It's just a flesh wound. Reach the mixing device.
Ah, that juicer allows the user to make whatever concoction they desire. The brewers have left
Scythian
their favorite
twist.
recipes nearby. For your dark needs, I suggest you brew only the strong.
For your dark needs. Alright, looks like water first. Wait, are they labeled at all? No? So it has all the mixes, like it has all the things together in one area. Okay, I'm just gonna press the button. Alright, we got the green. Okay, now we got water, I guess. But that's weird. But okay. We'll just go at. Oh, I think the. Oh, can we suck that up? Alright, now we got acid. That's fine. We'll put it here. I see now. Like, it has a different one filled. Let's just hope it's from left to right like it reads. Now we should get water, right? Yeah, alright. Just take that to the far right. It's got posters everywhere telling us what to do. Okay, now I think we can mix it.
Sadly, that recipe would only render the Wendigo nostalgic for its childhood. Hardly a combat advantage.
Well, damn it, you said blue and then the yellow, then the green. Oh, that's the 2 potency. Oh, here's the super fucking potency. Get sauced. Okay, we gotta go with the middle. Gonna get this one. Give it the jellyfish shit. There we go. The acid there on the left. Alright. I don't even know why there is alternative recipes, but okay. Get sauced, man. This shit is edgy. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to take a cold shower. And say 15 Hail Marys. Not miss church for a week. 2 weeks. 2 Sundays in a row. And looks good. Looks good, stream. Let's do it.
Ah, perfection.
Perfection. Ellipse. Ellipse. Breathe. Ellipse.
Pick up the muscle. mushrooms and
The flaming mo. Here come the mushrooms.
Excellent. I believe I've tracked the Wendigo.
So this is gonna spawn the Wendigo in, because it's the beast. But I think we still have to fight the Cthulhu thing. Oh yeah, quarantine, that's right. Well, I guess I'm just a sinner. Just trying to live my best life and get right with the Lord. Yeah, Borderlands. To be forced to miss church. I won't. The virus is clearly man-made. Do you feel that way? Actually, Jeremiah? That's like an increasingly a thing I hear. Whether it is or it isn't. People like, oh yeah, thanks to bomb in China. No, not at all. I mean, do you think it was made by the Chinese in a military lab?
Still got it.
I keep hearing that more and more when I talk to people, that that's like what they believe now. They're so angry about it.
What you hiding?
Yeah, we'll never know, will we? That's right, we'll never know. One thing is for sure, we all just got on a list. We will not be able to visit China anytime soon. We are now all on a list. Well, yeah. But they'll thankfully only know you by your Twitch names. People love Tina. People fucking gush about Tina. They cry about Tina. They jizz 'em. Never mind. Never mind. I'm not sure I completely understand the Tina hype and the Tina love. She's not even that big of a character in Borderlands 2 until the DLC. She's much better. She is written really well around the time of the DLC. You get that like childhood innocence thing. But I think some of the hype has become viral. Like they didn't even beat Borderlands 2, let alone make it to like the DLC. When she's really gets to be fleshed out as a character. Just like, oh yeah, people loved her, so I love her too. And she's handled in small doses. I just think some of the love for her is some of like, in general, where we're at with Borderlands, which is there's the player base. And then there's a huge base of people who don't actually play the game that much, who just want to be a part of the world and the fandom. They like to cosplay for it. And those people are great. Those people are great, but I think it gets a little bit overblown. Like, did you play her though? She wasn't like even that big of a part of the game.
Oh, it's a curse, is it?
I'm Water with a breakout character in Cars, and in Cars 2 he's the main character, and it's much worse. Yeah, exactly. If they try to overdo Tina, it's gonna lose all potency. I like her too, but I just think that it's become this thing where Tina? Fucking love Tina. Just say a goddamn thing about Tina. She's the best!
He's blind in one eye, you know. But the good one, oh, looking into it sets my heart aflame. Nonetheless, we haven't a moment to lose. To the lair, Vault Hunter.
You guys are both blind. You have two robot eyes. Why has he got to be blind in one eye now? Well, he's definitely going to be fucked with a conjunctivitis like he's got. Hey, we hit the cat, boys. Stream, we did it. She's neat, funny in small doses, that's it. Right, I agree. I'm not trying to talk shit about the fan base that doesn't play the game much. Those people are just as legitimate. I'm not gatekeeping. I'm just saying it's weird because there's like the people who strictly basically play it. Like Matt. Matt mostly just plays it. He's not really... He was telling me how he was just like enjoying the gameplay and not really paying attention to the story when we talked last Sunday. I'm like, yeah, that's probably the best way to experience. So there's us who mostly just do it for the gameplay. And like, we know the story enough. I've invested a little bit to learn about it. And then there's that group of people who don't really actually play the game too much, or really at all. Most of them. If you look at the data for the Borderlands 2, it's like 5% of the players beat it even once, let alone went all the way to the OP levels. And will be critical, the ones who play it. And the people who strictly like it for the story and stuff think that's like sacrilege. They can't do anything wrong. Anything that's Borderlands is good. Anything that is Borderlands is wonderful. Anything they do is just more. And we just, don't you fucking complain. It can't be bad because it's just more Borderlands. And I think some of that gets a little short-sighted. Because we're coming at it from a different angle. We want the gameplay to be fantastic. And they're just like, we just want more fucking Tiny Tina. Oh, my neck. My neck. I'm gonna have to start a Patreon. Clearly I've got some deep issue. I actually like reload speed, but at the same time I know that fire rate is a better DPS perk. Oh, Pinata. Hey, alright. Did I rip my throat out? Hey, that's okay. If I rip my throat out, that's how Avenged Sevenfold became great. Maybe I can be like him. Maybe this will be my breakthrough moment. If I rip my fucking vocal cords out. That's what will finally be my breakthrough. Hey, thank you, stream. I appreciate it. Now here, let us continue with unpopular opinions. It's unpopular because what I'm saying is, I think it's kind of a hive mind thing. I'm not saying those people are stupid, they're not. I'm just saying that it became like something you could like instantly get in with the Borderlands community. Like Tiny Tina? Oh yeah, Tiny Tina. It's almost a code word. Yeah, we love her. We love the Dungeon Keep DLC. I thought the Hammerlock DLC was good. I thought parts of the Tiny Tina DLC were good, but it didn't blow my mind like Nox did back in the day. Like, Nox was a huge step forward. It's probably still the best of the bunch, but at that point, man, the level cap hadn't gone up, and it felt like you were just kind of going through the motions. And every time I'd like ask somebody about it, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I love that one." I'd be like, "Yeah, what'd you think of the ending?" They'd be like, "Well, I didn't play it much." Like 99 times, well, I'll say 9 times out of 10, because I probably asked 10 people that same question total. They'd always answer in the same way. Like, well, I didn't play it too much. Oh, then why do you fucking love it so much? Because it just became like that thing. That was the one they all talked about, that everyone just said was great. Which is why I think you gotta come up with your own opinions about games. I've played so many games that people said were just terrible, and I loved them. And I think we've all had that experience where a game's got like a 5 out of 10 on IGN, then you boot it up, and you get completely sucked in. And then you play this game that everybody says is a masterpiece. Like, that's how I've heard, 100% that's what I hear about Kojima's new game. We were talking about it not too long ago, Death Stranding. That Death Stranding is actually really, really boring, really convoluted, controls for shit. You spend most of your time walking, it's really easy. And like, people who have just played it just say it's for shit, but the critics just gush over it. It's amazing, it's deep, it's complex, it's Kojima at its finest. Like, everyone seems to pretty much agree that it's like, oh, it's better than just another FPS game. So we have so many of these FPS games these days. But that doesn't mean it was necessarily all that good. Thank you for that pinata, by the way. That was cool. I forgot to do the Oblivion music. I think as much good as there is in Borderlands, I always feel like my observation of current is that when you see the hardcore fandom not playing it as much as they did with Borderlands 2, that's something to pay attention to. The game is getting better and better, and it's still really good, but they pay as the streamer who will go unnamed, they do sponsored content with him, and he looks like this the whole time. But for the sake of the paycheck, what they do is they say, "Ah, I fucking love it," and they can keep up that enthusiasm for like 15 minutes.
Quickly now, give me the bait.
There are still people who love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it,
Give me strength, Winnie.
and I'm happy about that because it's not a bad game at all. But I think like we're just a little bit separated from what is the reality. What's the true reality? It's somewhere in the middle at this point, I think.
Coming. Here we go.
We do not. We do not. We probably should give it. Oh, this thing's cool looking.
Beware, it's about to charge.
I mean, granted, few games can do what The Witcher does as far as this is concerned, and this thing looks cool. But I don't know why it was so easy to stay connected to the story when doing this in The Witcher. Like spawning a Wendigo in The Witcher felt so much more meaningful. I know it's not a fair comparison. It feels like we just did a lot of I don't know what to get to this cool monster. We grabbed its shit. Checked its footsteps. I'm starting to whine. I'm gonna try to peel it back. I do think there's some blinders for this game, though. I think it gets kind of protected. It's not a bad game. It is a good game. But I think that the fan base, we all kind of collectively work to protect it from the truth. In some cases. But see, like, characters like Ava didn't get the same benefit of the doubt. I don't really see that much of a difference. People hate Ava. They hate that character. I didn't mind Ava. I honestly didn't mind her that much. I didn't think she was all that annoying. I felt kind of bad for her in that quest with the journal. You know, like, she's had a tragic life. According to her character. But people hate her guts. They hate her. They love Tina. They want Tina to be the future. But at the same time, these are the same people that then when you bug them, they're like, well, I didn't dig that deep into it though. Because it's just become the like accepted opinion, you know? Without any politics involved. It's the same idea behind like Orange Man Bad. Like, oh, just because this person does X, therefore it must be bad. But you don't dig into it at all. You don't uncover it and kind of come up with your own idea on whether or not you feel like that's the truth. There's probably good reasons to hate Ava. And when people give me a good reason, then I like it. Like, alright, hey, at least you thought this opinion out. What I'm talking shit about is when people just, like, grab whatever is the accepted opinion. Oh, yeah, we hate Ava. Oh, hey, thanks, Hammerlock. We hate Ava. We love Tiny Tina. But why? Oh, just because that's what the fandom says. The fandom says we have to fucking love Tina. And we have to hate Ava. And anything that's more Borderlands is perfect. Like DLC 1. I saw very, very, very little critical of the first DLC. I saw nothing critical, actually, the first DLC. And I didn't think it was all that good. I didn't think it was special at all. That's why I didn't play it much. I gotta go back and get it 100%, but like, it was just so... It was so 7 years ago. And if we already had done that, we went through it 100% in Borderlands 2 one last time before the game came out. And I didn't know that there was anything really remarkable or different from the Commander Lilith DLC. Tiny Tina just feels more like what a character in this universe would behave. But to be fair, Ava grew up with monks. Tiny Tina's not a bad character. Yo, Death2, oh, thank you for being here, Death2, and I appreciate it, buddy. She's not a bad character. And I get why there's love for her, and she's got a good story too. But I feel like there's blinders on, and she gets really fleshed out in the Dungeon Keep DLC. But this is like, so when I would work at Pizza Trademark, and Borderlands 2 was, you know, my game, and it was the game that I played habitually, I would, you know, like, people would talk video games with me, like customers, And I'd be like, oh yeah, what did you think of the Tiny Tina, what did you think of the DLCs or whatever? And they'd be like, oh, well, that Dungeon Keep DLC. That was the DLC for me. That was the real DLC. And I'm like, yeah, well, what'd you think of the ending and stuff? Do you think they're gonna make another one? They're like, well, I don't play it that much. I don't play it that much. I just heard that so much. And then I started to get the feeling that, like, no one's actually got, like, a... Well, of course people do like you, because you play the game a lot, Death Own, but generally speaking, considering, like, 5% of the people ever even reach the end of the game, let alone the cap and the OP levels. I think Randy Pitchford said that it was, like, you know, less than 1% of the player base even... Oh, his gut is his crit. That's cool. Even touch the OP levels. That they were mostly just talking out of their ass. And it's cool, like, I'm not gatekeeping. They should be a part of the fandom. But is that the part of the fandom you want to listen to necessarily, the most? Is that the group that... If you want to hear exactly what you want to hear, which is everything's perfect, the game's perfect, everything's fine, Destiny doesn't have 12,000 viewers right now or anything, then I guess listen to that group. Because they're going to tell you exactly whatever the Reddit says and, you know, whatever popular Twitch YouTuber said, and we're not going to rock the boat if we're on that side of the aisle. And so what we're going to say is everything is good, Tiny Tina's fucking funny, everything you wrote is funny, the story doesn't get tiresome once you get to Eden 6 at all, this is perfect, it's wonderful, you guys did an amazing job, we fucking love it. Sycophants. Making video games is hard-ass work. You know, and they did do a good job, but you still need honest criticism. That's my take. That's my take, you know? Ava does feel very pointless as in anyone else could fill a role. I mean, she's building for the future. I thought Ava had a sad story. I thought Ava's gonna have some powers. I thought they did Maya like... You know, they did Maya so badly. They did Maya so badly. They killed this character off that people put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into, even thousands of hours. People had as their mains. It was Ashton's main. You know, I think it was something's main. I had a high-level Maya, OP something Maya, not all the way, but still played a lot of Maya. And they just fucking killed her like it was nothing. Now we had to have, after we killed off Roland, we had to have 2 years of God, Roland, and Lilith is not mentally well now, and Roland, and yeah, it was sad. It was like a big deal when it happened, and they did a good job in the Tiny Tina DLC of wrapping that up. That Tiny Tina DLC had a really good ending. But then it was like, we're still going over it in Borderlands 3, and we were still going over it in the Commander Lilith DLC, and all we did for Maya was like, Tanda says, don't let me speak at your funeral. That, to me, made me gravitate more to Ava. Because it's like, dude, this was basically Ava's parent. Maya was basically her parent. I'm so not hitting this thing in the crit, but it doesn't do any damage. You know, Ava's parents are dead. Maya raised her. And now she's got to take on this massive responsibility as just a kid. Could she have been less annoying? Oh, probably, but I thought she was fine. Personally, I thought she was fine. I'm not saying Tiny Tina's a bad character either, by the way. I'm just saying I don't think that Tiny Tina is fucking as amazing as everybody, like, says. In my opinion. I don't understand the, like, oh my god, Tina! I need more Tina! I think that Ava sets up a better story for the future. I just don't have any reason to actually give a damn about Ava. She's just kind of there for me. Which is something they're going to have to correct. Which is something they're totally going to have to correct. Because basically, you know, I'm giving you a counter opinion, but my counter opinion doesn't mean shit. In general, what the Borderlands fans are saying is they fucking love Tina. Tina's the shit. They want as much Tina as possible, and Ava can just go away. They don't care if Ava just disappears. Now, I'm pretty sure Ava is the same character that's set up in the pre-sequel as already being basically the chosen one by the Guardians. So they're not gonna do it. Because they've got a big-ass story they're clearly building behind Ava. She's already been chosen by the Guardians. She was the chosen one, Anakin. She was mentored by Maya. She's now in charge of this whole thing as just a kid. She's now gonna be guided by the scientist Tannis. So she ain't going away. But it could open avenues of like legitimate storytelling that isn't just like boom shakalaka. Booty! Booty, booty, booty! Fuck me, I am not hitting this thing's weak spots. Where's my sniper at? Oh, it resists fire. Where the hell's the sniper? Oh, I don't have it on. Whoops. This boss is actually really hard. Dude, he's got a lot of health. Thanks for being here, by the way, Death Zone. What's the thing? Tina got so much development spotlight because she had an entire DLC dedicated. It just doesn't have that much story to her. Back the character up yet. She's got those pre-sequel audio logs that really help her out, where she's like deadly sick, and her mom's like trying to get her help, and like a guardian comes to her and touches her, and is like, "You have to leave Elpis, go to Pandora." Like, I'm pretty sure that's the one and the same. And you know, and then you have a few side quests in this one that set up that she was an orphan, as far as she knows, raised by the monks, like you mentioned, at the own, and then she's a siren at a really young age. Like, Lilith was at least older. If you look at the comic books, she's older from what I could tell. Or she was born. It was one of the two. Point is, she's not as young as Ava, from what I remember in the comics. Mayhem 2 is basically OP levels in some ways. Right, it's OP levels without the bullshit. It's OP levels without the bullshit. Thanks for being here, Adam. I'm just becoming more and more jaded to Borderlands. I don't know, I just need something really big to pull me back into the story and gameplay-wise. I still enjoy the story, but like, I'm so frustrated because I know that time just disappears for me in other games. And there's been parts of this DLC where even though I like it better than the first DLC, I mean, there's no lying about it. And I don't want to complain. It's still fun, it's still good. And I know that there's like people fucking with COVID right now, and there's people starving, and yeah, you know, I'm just saying that I'm just trying to get a little bored. And I don't want to be bored. I want to be sucked in. That's why I'm looking forward to April. But, you know, about halfway through this DLC and this stream, I just started like, let's just try to shoot things in the head, and, you know, we're just going through the motions again, unfortunately, because nothing felt really meaningful. And I hate saying that, believe me. I am a fan. I've played this game for 10 years. The fucking name on here is stuck on Pandora. I mean, I wouldn't have bought Battleborn without there being a Borderlands. We did all that content running up to this. I'm still here gonna keep making content. I don't want to be bored. It's something Adam and I talk about all the time. But I think everybody goes through this with Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 seems to be a sprint game where it's like you're into it for a little bit, you know, you like put a few good sessions in, and then you're kind of like, I'm done with this for a while. I'll come back after, you know, after a bit. And I just wonder what it was. It was probably largely the time that it came out, and that it really did feel ahead of its time and special. When Borderlands 2 came out, there was no game quite like it when it came out. You know, the RPG, the multiplayer, the FPS, the skill-based FPS, and it just refined everything that Borderlands 1 did. And the fact that Borderlands 3, even though it's a huge improvement, quality of life, graphically, you know, you've got mantling and parkour, which is honestly standard for FPS these days, but it brings it modernizes the game, but it's the same gameplay loop. They didn't evolve it very much. You know, I want to see gear sets. They said that they're not going to bring Effervescence or Pearlescence back, and I wonder why. I think they should look to evolving, but they're doing some Guardian perk stuff and Mayhem 2.0. Like, I'm still optimistic. I just don't like random modifiers. You have to mess with the RNG even before you're in the fight, and I don't like that. Well, they're gonna completely get rid of that, Death Zone. They're gonna completely get rid of that. They're gonna, so like Mayhem 4, where it's like you get one positive, one negative. Like, that's exactly the direction they're going with Mayhem 2.0. There'll be 10 levels. And I think you're right, but don't worry, they know you're right on that case. That's why Mayhem 4 was different. They talked about this in the last Borderlands show, that, you know, they've been listening to fans and they've been listening to tons of feedback, and so they're, you know, they're already getting rid of that. Like, they said they watched people stream and they saw exactly what you're talking about, which is that people would just reroll until they got what they wanted. So they want it to be like, it's a fun thing, it's a decision you make, and you want to change, and you want to play with what rules you have because it'll be worthwhile to you. They did a good job on the character modeling here. But, yeah, so they are going to change that up. I'm looking forward to 2.0. I think that having more anointments from the event, more levels of mayhem to try to grind through, more of the action RPG shit. That's what I want. I want more of the action RPG shit. It's why I would still play Borderlands 1 all the time. You know, I loved farming in Borderlands 1, just trying to get that perfect rule that I knew would melt shit or try out a new build. And I know it's here too. But just weird shit like, okay, the new Guardian perks. Well, they've basically hard capped. This Guardian rank is so strange to me. It's such a massive improvement that is completely kneecapped by making it basically virtually soft cap because it becomes so hard to get a rank in it. It becomes so hard to get a rank in it. And 100 tokens. This is millions and millions and millions of XP. I'm never going to see these. Most likely. So they're just going to have to do something like about that. Modifiers, right? Some of those are complete bullshit, right? And you're right about that. Still can't even play the DLC. The planet doesn't show up in navigation. I think it's an issue with Epic. Oh, you have it on PC on the Steam on Epic. Have you thought about getting it on Steam? That might be a big ask. That sucks, man. I'm sorry that's happened in Death Zone. After playing Doom, everything seems slow. Are you home after your workout, Adam? We're getting closer and closer. Well, it's going to be OP levels. 100% it's going to be OP levels, but it's going to be OP levels without the bullshit. It's not going to have the negative delta. It's not going to have the exponential scaling because we have a very softened curve with the scaling now. Thank God. And it's not going to require a raid on Digistruct Peak. This is like the worst episode, but I'm sorry those of you watch this on YouTube. I just want another Saturn 2.0. Oh, God. OP levels are neat, but all I want is a new character. I prefer over new action skills. How many characters do you have at 50, Jeremiah? I'm not going to be critical of Gearbox on that. I hear you. I do. And a lot of people say that too. And I do think that Gearbox... I think Randy Pitchford's too much like, well, that's not what the data says. Well, fuck the data sometimes. What is the community saying? What is your gut telling you? What are you seeing when you watch people play? You know, because there are intangibles. There are things that can't be measured in the data. But you know, he's like, oh, well, the data tells us that nobody plays new characters. It is probably true. I've only built my Amari up some. There's one I care about. I don't really care about Amari Zane. So that's why they're not doing it. And the reason I will say that I'm okay with them doing what they're doing is at least they were honest. At least it's not like, if you remember Destiny, there was a group of players on Destiny that swore to God there was a secret inside the Vault of Glass. And those players went for years. There's probably still players to this day actively trying to seek out what they think is the sixth, like, room in the Vault of Glass. And what Bungie decided to do with those people is like, we'll never say. We'll never let you know. Possibly. Maybe. No, there is no secret. There's no fucking secret. They're just doing that so that it's like people stay hooked to it and they don't have to admit that there's not fucking actually anything there, but they can't bring themselves to be honest about it. That no, those people are fucking wasting their time.
Hit a cow's arse with a banjo.
And so at least Gearbox was like, yeah, we're just not doing that. I respect that. I respect honesty. And I think that's okay so long as they make a fucking great action RPG. They improve the shooting, they modernize the shooting. It's a good shooter. It controls well, it plays well. They need to make a fucking fantastic action RPG. It's a good action RPG. But I mean the gold standard, the new gold standard. I want them to beat Destiny. I'm not going back to Destiny. I'm playing this game. I'm playing this game, so I might be critical, but you know I'm a Gearbox Borderlands guy. You know, they don't got loot boxes. They don't got life service bullshit. I'm a Gearbox Borderlands guy. I'm playing this and not Destiny. So even though I'm critical, I think the actions speak louder than words. And so, to beat Destiny, they've got to make a fucking great action RPG, because that's where Destiny's at now. And that means effervescence, and that means new skill trees, and that means gear sets, and that means ritual-style content, the dailies, the weeklies, that give the dads like Kyle Ellinger, give the gamer dads something that they know they can come in here for 2 hours and they can get some gear out of that's actually going to be meaningful to them. Keep going into those purples with they've done a great job on their epic system. With the random rolls, you might find a purple that's 10 times better than the legendaries. There's still nothing but raw potential here, and it's not a bad game. We're not talking Anthem. You know, Anthem where it's like, oh man, we're just gonna have to fundamentally rework a lot of this shit. Or we're not talking Fallout 76 where it's like, we have to fundamentally rework this shit. At the same time, we have to win back people's trust. And we have to stop making decisions that keep digging us in the hole. First rule of hole digging, quit digging. You know, it's not that situation. It's not even close to that situation. But I just wonder what are... I think you don't listen strictly to the data. And I don't think you listen to the more or less, I think, a bit blind fan base that just says like Tina. You know, they're fans. That's great. That's fantastic. It's a big fan base. It's a big community, and that's great. But they don't necessarily play the game that much. And they don't seem to understand very much when we're like, I fucking want to be able to farm. Well, of course we can farm, but it's like I want to farm for meaningful loot. I want to have a new build. I want to have end-game content that challenges me, but is also worth my time. I want to play this game and I want to support it because it on the business ethics standpoint of this thing, Borderlands and Gearbox have continued to do the right thing by their fans. Like, you can't talk any shit about it at all. What do you mean to criticize Borderlands? Tina. You know, those people. I played every character in Borderlands 2 to OP8 and 2 of them to OP10. Yeah, I mean, Deathstone, I know, man. You are a true Borderlands guy. Believe me, I know. I respect your grind and your knowledge of the Borderlands. OP levels were bullshit. There's no doubt the OP levels were bullshit. In my opinion, and I'm not alone in that. It's just a problem in general with what happened after UVHM came out and how the math, the exponential scaling with Borderlands 2 worked. That you only had 1 or 2 builds that became really, you know, a thing. And I was on console, man, and I'll tell you, on Xbox 360, look at that. Oh, it's fucking evil. Oh, never mind, 686. The game maybe ran at like 10 frames per second at that point, and you were required to do multiple playthroughs to get the gear that you needed just to do an OP level. You're talking 4 or 5 playthroughs just to do a single OP level like you guys could on PC with Gibbed. It was fucking trash. And that's why I'm saying it looks like Mayhem 2.0 is OP levels without the bullshit. And we don't even have to go that far as saying like, it's the math, man. It's just the math, you know? This is a level 50 Hellwalker, right? Whereas let me equip that and look at a level 57 shotgun. It's basically pre-sequel scaling, so the numbers aren't going to get out of fucking control again. Like, look, this shotgun at 50 is still doing more damage than the 56. Just because the scaling is so much better, the mayhem levels and the OP stuff won't become bullshit. But what's, to me, enticing and exciting is that they're gonna, you know, it's gonna become a mayhem 1 to 10 shotgun. And it'll have unique anointments and unique stats accordingly. And to me, that's exciting. Oh boy, a COV weapon. I just want shit to farm for. Like I said, I want it to be a great action RPG.
About what I said earlier.
5 people who think Anthem 2.0 will save the game. Well, every YouTuber that hasn't played the game for 8 months and barely played it back then, but made one clickbait video because that was the thing to talk about for about a week and won't care when it actually does come around.
I first became a hunter.
Yeah, I'm
As
cynical.
long as I can remember.
Age is one of the most loved characters. She was DLC.
Now I see that
I mean, she's the whole DLC.
no less the hunter.
I like this DLC.
Now, I wish to be at Winnie's side. You have the trophies. Return with them to Eyster. Good luck, Vault Hunter.
It's just that when I was playing State of Decay, when I was playing Doom, and when I'm playing Apex Legends, I know that I'm like, one more round. Or State of Decay 2, I'm like, oh, I got this goal now. I want to go for this goal. And, you know, Doom, it's like, oh, I can beat this. And I know right now I'm pretty much going through the motions. And it's an action RPG, and I don't want to be going through the motions. And that's as raw as I can give it. You know, as honest as I can give it. And as I say, it's not something I want to say. But I can tell I'm like going through the motions to get to the end. And I'm not really, you know, I'm hearing the story out. I think that the writing's good in this DLC. I think this DLC is better than the first one by quite a lot. But I'm not like, oh man, there's this fucking great item I'm gonna get for my Zane at the end of this and I can hardly wait. It's like, alright, I'll go through the story. But it's not Doom. You're not going through the story because you really want to see the end and what's going to happen. Because even in Doom, you're getting power as you go on. What was cool is we had a level cap to go for. That was fun. That definitely kept me moving. Then it's like, as soon as I hit the level cap, like, I felt it. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of going through the motions now. You know? We used to do this thing when I was designing games. You have to do something called a post-mortem. You do a design sheet. And that's why I'll mention something like that. It's not to talk shit about the game. It's that when you had to be critical of your own game, you had to say, like, what did you do right? What did you learn about this project? What was bad about your game? What did you do wrong? Play the mode of 50. I'm slow. You know what I mean. I got the mode of OP8 is what I mean. You had all your Borderlands 2 characters to OP8? Wow. Didn't enjoy him, and I fucking hate Amari's personality. What makes you hate Amari's personality, Jeremiah? I'm waiting for Anthem 4.0 to dip in. I played every character right? Yeah, I mean, you got Mad Borderlands 2, respect, I guess, for lack of a better word. There's another word, but you know what I mean. I feel you. I was playing on PS3 when the game ran at 10 FPS. Then I actually moved on to PS4 with the remaster. I actually just got into PC just a few years ago. So you did all those OP8 characters on PS3? I submitted a ticket with 2K 6 hours ago, but my issue with the DLC and all I got was an automated message. There's probably nobody home, man. With this COVID shit going on, there's just nobody fucking home. Like, right now we have a credit card bill that's out of fucking control. We only owe $79 on it. And they think we owe $2 grand. It's completely fucking out of control. And I've had to file a complaint with the CFPB, and I'm like in contact with the way uppity up on the US bank end now. Well, it's Wells Fargo for whatever reason. There's just fucking nobody home. I haven't heard anything in a week plus because nobody is working right now. Unfortunately. Exactly. So I did OP levels on the Xbox 360, and you just... So you know the pain. You were on PS3. You combine that with the technical limitations of the system, and the... Oh my god, the amount of fucking farming. Because we did not have Gibbed. You could do Gibbed on console, but... I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't believe in it back then, you know? I thought, well, that's not how you play the game. Now I don't give a shit. Now I would say, yeah, do it. If you fucking give it. So you can play your game. Because they want you to spend 55 hours just to get into a position where you can kind of do the next thing. It was fucking crazy. It was just meant to be forever content, you know? Like, oh, if these people really want to do it, they can do it. It's completely unadvisable to do it, but is this new? I don't think it's new. Is it the sandbar?